In the name of God the Almighty, peace to you. Today I will speak about why unity is a key for the salvation of the human race. Why is it key uh, to win eternity and to get rid of the mortal life and start the immortal one? First of all, to understand the importance of unity or singularity, we have to start understanding or explaining how this works for the eternal world. We will talk about the oneness of God the Almighty, the creator of everything. First of all, uh, why the oneness in God the Almighty gives him such a powerful state and always control over all his creation. Many people make the mistake of dividing the divine self into two entities. Some of them call them the good Lord and the bad Lord, above and below, and all these things. They think that God is some kind of, two entities, one good and one bad. And this is not true. We have to understand the difference between the evil power of evil and the power of goodness. These two powers are do exist in the world even before the spirit, the eternal spirit started creating uh, matter through light and information word. So the evil exists and the goodness exists. But when we talk about our creator, about the creator of everything that exists, he in himself, he has the two powers, like every one of us. He has goodness and evil in him. But he is, of course, in control of his bad side. So he always trying to perfect the light of goodness in order to remove darkness and evil powers from the existence. And he has been doing this through his creations, creation after creation after creation, not only on this earth, but on other planets too. So when we speak about, we have to understand this oneness in God the Almighty, because when we try to make a good Lord and a bad Lord, we start having things completely wrong, and we start believing in things that do not exist and they are not powerful. Yes, we could, improve our evil side instead of improving our good side, but that doesn't make any changes, many doesn't make any effect other than this bubble, this world of test we live in. We can affect badly our own selves and the selves the others, the selves of the others we know or who are affected directly by our deeds or indirectly during our short lifetime. So first of all, we have to believe in the oneness of God, and that God the Almighty is so powerful and He has His good side and bad side, but He keeps the good side in control. And then He is working to perfect Himself and to perfect the light of goodness, and He's doing so through His creation. It's like an author or a painter who start having confused emotions of goodness and bad, of good mood and darkness and all these things. He started creating things or painting things or writing things, and he improves the way he writes things. He improves the way he inserts wisdom in his work and all of this. So God's creation is like this. He's always perfecting his creation. He's always perfecting his light. He's always perfecting the existence which he created out of spirituality. So he can always get the darkness stand out and then crush it. So next time it will be reduced. And it has been going on this planet, as an example, for I don't know exactly how many thousands of years now. So the level of evil has to be reduced from a generation to another. And so the message of God or the guidance of God or the codes of conduct that have been sent to help us, to guide us through this test, have been improved also with the evolution of the human societies. So this has to be understood perfectly, because I know many people, even in the so-called advanced or civilization or first world, the countries of the first world, they believe in a good Lord and a bad Lord, and that's wrong, completely wrong. Many people think that Satan is some kind of entity that's opposite to the entity of God the Almighty. It's completely wrong. Satan is the opposite of the human. So it is not, Satan is a creature, he's not a creator, he doesn't have the power of creation, he doesn't have any kind of power outside God's will. He's just there. He represents the shadow self of the human. He represents the whispers that push us to do evil. It's just that. So he's not some kind of a creator or some kind of an evil god or whatever. He and his race, exactly like the human race, they are just a shadow of us. They represent the fire and the air. We represent the soil and water. They have some destructive nature. They have some evil nature. We have uh, a good nature, a good nature for life, etc. So this is had to be explained exactly. But as I said, there are evil powers in the existence, and God, who started the creation, is fighting these powers within himself and within the realm of spirituality. Even if they are chaotic, they don't have any kind of a creation side in them. They are destructive, only destructive. So that's why it's very important to understand this point, that God the creator, God the light of everything, who created everything from light and words, information, he's fighting to crush these destructive forces. And that's why we have the duty as his creatures to stand on his side against those powers. This way we will be part in this perfection of light. When we do the other way around, we will lead ourselves and our civilization to destruction. And this happened before, and it's happening time and time again, because this is how the divine algorithm work. Yes, God holds all the power over his creation, but we bring destruction on ourselves when we cross the red lines given to us by God, which we are now living in a civilization given red lines to Moses at the beginning of this cycle. These red lines are the Ten Commandments. Once we don't observe them, and on a larger scale, like what's happening now worldwide, we are bringing destruction over ourselves. So what's happening now in the world is the consequences of our own bad decisions, of our greed, of our immorality, and all the things. This has to be understood at the beginning, because now we will come to understand why the unity of our species is important for survival, is important for salvation, is important to achieve the potential, to fulfill the potential, to achieve the goal behind our creation as a species. So now we are living in a world that's divided by many divisions, many labels. We have the political labels, like the political borders, the countries, the nations, even the cities, the like communities within the cities, and we have the religions on the spiritual side. That's also dividing people. Plenty of religions and sects inside each and every religion. And we have also the test of the race and colors and all the things. We have to, elevate ourselves above that. And what kind of divisions we still have. Also, we have divisions in languages. uh, it's crazy. I mean, when you look at the state of the world, even the most advanced countries, or what they call themselves open-minded people, for example, like Belgium, or they are, I mean, very small country, and they are yet divided between people who speak Dutch and the people who speak French, for example. It's crazy. We are living in a crazy world. People are just jump to belong to something other than their divinity. Many people do not understand the divinity within themselves, and that's why we are having this trouble, because no one is living a divine life, a divine, godly way of life. And that's leading, when we abuse and cross the red lines of the Ten Commandments, we are ruining our own existence. We are ruining the lives of our children, of our grandchildren, and the future for the human race. This has to be clear, and this is the way in order to get unity, the same unity of the divine, the singularity of the divine. If we are ever to reach full peace on this planet, we have to come together in unity. We have to remove borders. We have to get rid of the idea that we belong to a nation that's greater than another nation. We have to dissolve armies, because who are going to fight with our army? I mean, look at around us. I mean, the German have been killing the British, and the British been killing the Germans, and the Israeli are taking over the Palestinians, and the Palestinians are fighting back, and the Iranians coming through, and all the things are have nothing to do with God, have nothing to do with the goal and the potential of the human race. And that's why it's time to get rid of all these divisions. As I said, the nations and the countries, all borders should be removed. And of course, gradually, of course, according to a timeline, or plan well put together. And and the people say, but some countries are richer than others, and we have also to remove the monetary system, and this would come, I will explain this in the coming episode. So we have to remove the monetary system. We have to build communities that live for each other, love each other. We have to bring togetherness instead of competition for worldly, uh, you know, what the right word to use. Uh, Not wealth only, I mean possessions. and something like that. We believe that we own things, but we don't own anything. Once we die, we don't take our money, we don't take our houses, we don't take our anything that once we had possession of during our short lifetime. So we have to stop competing for the wrong reason and start competing for the good reasons, like, for example, learning good knowledge for good causes, good science, science for truth, not science of wishful thinking, like this, like the situation which has been going in scientific community now for at least 60 years. So we have to bring everything back to the good roots and to clean up the mess and to remove all the hatred. I mean, the hatred, where it comes from? It comes from divisions. It comes from believing, from arrogance, believing that I am better than the other. It comes from believing that if I am religious, that my religion is the true religion and the other religions are wrong. And all this crap, it has to be, because God didn't send religions. He sent codes of conduct in order to guide us how to live our lives peacefully and how to build a peaceful world around us, to be blessed, to be living, and to be getting the Holy Spirit within each one, for each and every one of us, so no one could taste death. This is the way to immortality. But while we keep dividing each other and hating each other and fighting each other and abusing nature, abusing animals, abusing the earth resources, consuming like there's no tomorrow, all these things will lead us to destruction. And that's what's going on now. And with the coronavirus, that's going actually slowly. God is giving us another chance to come together, to get rid of our divisions, to get rid of our greed, to get rid of all these things, these chains that we put on ourselves generation after generation. It's time to unscrew this world. It's time to come together for peace, for love, for unity, and this is the only way to survive. So I know many people now, and especially political leaders and religious leaders, they all have some kind of, temporary power or some kind of luxurious state of being, or uh, because it's in the human nature, the love to be, in a powerful position. So these people are very attached to what they have. They are not going to listen to what I am saying, but heavens will make this happen whether they like it or not. And the coronavirus and many things to come will affect this world like nothing affected it before. And when things go clearly for them out of control, they will come together. They will be forced to come together. And unfortunately, we are trying, as I said, that let them use reason, use wisdom to come together. But if they don't want to do that on their own, they will be at one point in the future, and a very near future, to come together because they don't have other choices, or they will go extinct. So it's time that people hear this call and people start thinking and taking my words seriously, because this is the heaven's decision. This is how God intended the end of this civilization will be, and nothing will stop it. And you can't fight the God's will. You can ask the people who have the scriptures. Uh, it's the way God deals with things. He gives us complete free will for period of time, and then at what point when we abuse the divine algorithm, the way we should be living to a maximum degree, we bring destructions on ourselves, and then God try to fix things that we have been abusing. So at one point we have to correct our ways, or we will be replaced by other creation. This is how God's creation work, because as I said at the beginning, the goal of the creation is to perfect the light, to perfect the goodness, not the other way around, to bring more destructive forces and more evil nature to this entire existence. So I am calling again the leaders of nations, the leaders of religions or whatever. We should get rid of all divisions. There is no religion but the truth, because God is the truth. There is no scientific endeavor that is correct outside the truth. That's why we see some scientific theories that last for centuries, and it's true to a higher degree than other theories, because they are coming from the truth, they are coming from God, because they are part of the godly puzzle. So everything related to the truth lasts forever. Everything not related to the truth, it's a wishful thinking or it's a lie, it will not last. So God didn't send religions. The only religions is the consciousness, is the to be living consciously a life, moral life, with moral code respected. We are not abusing our abilities, our the gifts that God has given us. And it has been the rule on this planet always that God will make the good people inherit the earth, the righteous ones who are not greedy, who are not looking to abuse their power, who are not looking to be, tyrant, who are not seeking destruction or their own way of lifestyle, for example, to force it on others. So we have seen the example of the previous civilizations that perished because they did it the wrong way. They abused nature. They didn't respect the ecosystem. They didn't protect the natural balance of this planet. So they perished according to the divine algorithm. And this will happen again. So what we have to do, as I said, I told you what we have to do. We have to come together. Enough talking about a Palestinian state and an Israeli state and a Lebanese state and blah blah blah. It's time to remove borders. It's time to live together peacefully, to understand each other, to work for each other for free, to get rid of worldly competitions that only leads to greed, abuse of nature, destruction, wars, and all these problems. And this cannot be reached as long as we have religions with S, as long as we have nations with S. I don't, as long as we have businesses with S, as long as we have, uh, you know, any type of divisions. We have to rise up to the divine within ourselves and let it show. We have to raise ourselves to the divine nature in order to gain immortality. We have to take God within us and show it to ourselves and to people around us. Everybody should get affected by love, by goodness, by fairness, by justice, by peace. This is the way. This is the only way. So it's time to get rid of the chains of the past and the chains of divisions, and every one of us should stop being a color. For example, the black should not have a problem with his own skin color. Same thing for the white or the pink or the yellow or whatever color of skin, because as I said, we have, once we shine always when with goodness, once we activate the divine within us, and that will be shown through our actions, through our coming together. And so this is the way to uh, to fix this world, and to stop uh, this pandemic and many other things that will hit us, and if we keep going the same way. I'm still listening to people, uh, leaders of nations speaking about the future of their economies, future of trade, future of all this blah blah blah, money. People still, for example, mayor of cities here, for example, in the UK or in Lebanon, or speaking about the financial help they could get in order to fight the COVID-19 and all these things. No, the money is not the only solution. The money not even a part of the solution. It's all about working on ourselves to activate the divine within us, and then we could become immortal. So the solution is in unity. The solution is in coming together. The solution is in destroying labels. The solution is to step out of religions, step out of nations, step out of races, step out of family names, step out of our greed, step out of anything that make us hate each other, or kill each other, or steal from each other, or boast against each other, or discriminate against each other. So this is the power of unity. When we make our divinity shine, we become immortal, we become one unit, we become ruling this planet with justice, with peace, eternal one, not just for 10 or 20 or 200 or 2000 years. This is the way forward. As long as we keep attaching ourselves to labels, to identities that just lead us to pride and prejudice and hatred, nothing good will happen to us and to our coming generations. So the unity is the key for salvation. You don't come as one unit, you don't come together, you don't favor love over hatred, you don't favor unity over divisions, you are going to perish like the previous civilization. You are going to be hit by COVID-19 and other plagues to come, and other wars and other problems will flourish here and there. So it's up to us. It has been always up to us. It's always has been our choices and freedom of choices. And now it's clear that God cannot take it anymore. The divine algorithm has been abused to the maximum. And now we are starting to reap what we sow. So you decide. We have very short time. I'm talking about the unity. This unity should be come together before the end of this decade. That means by 2030 we should be applying what I'm saying. Otherwise, God doesn't mind erasing us to the last person and replace us with another creation that would respect the red lines and live accordingly in order to perfect the light of goodness in this multiverse. So I have said enough about this. I will about unity. I'm going to talk after tomorrow about the monetary system and the problem of the money, which is leading us. It's the main problem of every problem we have in our world. So that's it from me today. As I said, it's all connected to the oneness of the divinity, and we are now in the end of our test. Are we going to come as one with the divine, or we will remain divided and destroy ourselves and destroy our future? It's up to us. It's up to each and every one of us. It's up to us as a collective or as a species. That's it. Peace to you all. Bye for now.